Uh, Actually, did I press something?
Yeah, it's okay, no problem.
I'll show my screen.
Hello, good evening, everyone. This is your webinar manager, Mohammad Yasin Ali. Thank you so much for attending today's webinar. Inshallah, it will be a really interesting webinar because this March 2018, the District 79 will, under Region 11, will be rolling out the Pathways. It's a new program by Toastmasters International. The view is to enhance the experience of its members and to increase the capabilities. And to tell more about this, we have with us today the Chief Ambassador for District 79, Toastmaster Syed Wahid Latif. He has been working for the past 1 year with the Pathways program, going through explaining about it and sharing all the updates from Toastmasters International itself. And today he's with us to explain more about the Pathways program and answer all your queries and questions. This session will be, first we will have the presentation by Toastmaster Wahid, and after that the floor will be open for question and answers. If you have any questions in the meantime, you can send it in the chat of the questions, and we will make a note of it at the end. Or you can even raise your hand at the end of the session, end of the presentation, to give a mic to raise questions. I hope that's clear with everyone. With this, we'll move ahead for the webinar itself, and let me introduce Toastmaster Syed Wahid Latif, our Chief Ambassador.
Thank you, Toastmaster Yasin, for organizing such an event, and welcome to all the members join on the webinar. I'm sure you all heard about the Pathways learning experience, which is coming in our district in March 2018. The current educational program is revitalized and improvised in learning, and it will be called Pathways. And the Pathways will enhance our learning experience, and it will all be accessed through our login IDs. Most of us have, in fact, I mean, all of us have the login IDs, but very few of us, we log in through our login IDs to the TMI. In the future, all of us have to access our learning program through our login IDs. And you can also get the printed material, which I will talk about it in details. As we talked about the accessing the educational material through online, our login IDs, you can use your tablets, your laptops, your mobile phone applications to access the educational material through your base camp. This base camp is it's embedded in your login IDs. All the projects and resources, transcripts and tips and tools will all be embedded in your base camp. The educational material you can access only through your login IDs. The base camp managers will be the VP educational, and primary responsibilities of the base camp manager is VP Education. In absence of the VP Education, the president and the secretary of the club will be accessing your base camp to assign your evaluators and to approve your transcripts as well, the projects. You know, the good thing about this electronic accessibility is that you can choose your evaluator and you can give him the access to evaluate you online, and all your evaluation will be stored in your base camp. And you can even give multiple access to the multiple evaluators, and then you have so much of evaluation embedded in your base camp. And you can choose to keep which one you want to keep, and then you can delete which one you want to delete. For example, if someone is giving you a harsh evaluation, you can choose to delete that evaluation from your base camp. You can share that evaluation through your social media as well. So it's an all electronic form, which is a lot of videos will be embedded there, experiences of the other Toastmasters will be given there. So it's a very, very friendly and accessible tools you will get. Now the new program called Pathways. Currently, if you remember that we have two track system, educational track and the leadership track. In the future, from 2018 March, all will be called as Pathways. The leadership program and the public speaking will all be integrated into 10 pathways. And those 10 pathways, if you look at the screen, are called dynamic leadership, effective coaching, innovative planning, leadership development, motivational strategies, persuasive influence, presentation mastery, strategic relationship, team collaboration, visionary communication. Those 10 pathways are built on the 5 core competencies given on the left-hand side. Those 5 core competencies are public speaking, interpersonal communication, strategic leadership, management, and confidence building. Now, how those pathways are programmed, if you look at this 1, 2, 3, 5 on the dynamic leadership given there, what it means is that if you're working on the path which is called dynamic leadership, you will be working on the public speaking, interpersonal communication, and strategic leadership and confidence building. Another example is that if you're looking at the presentation mastery, if you're working on this path, that you will be working on the public speaking and building your confidence. The rest of that strategic leadership, interpersonal communications are not built into the presentation mastery path. Now, all the members, the current members, have to go through a survey given by the Toastmasters International. Based on your answers, the TMI will recommend you which two of the paths you should be working on. And all the new members, when they join after the implementation of the pathways, must have to go through the survey and can only get an access to the pathways, not to the current educational program. The current educational program and pathways will be coexisting in parallel for 24 months after the 1st of July 2018. We will have pathways and the current 2-track system of the CC manuals, ACB, ACL, will be working in parallel for 24 months. All the existing members have 24 months to complete your DTMs or whatever the educational achievements you are going through, or you have a choice to move on to the pathways. After the survey, based on your answers, the TMI will recommend you 2 paths. In case you do not like to go on to the 2 recommended paths, you can even change. You can choose your own paths to work on. I will be taking the questions towards the end, and each one of the path is built with level 5 or 5 levels. What are those 5 levels? If you look at the screen, it's very easy to understand that the level 1 is called mastering the fundamentals. Those are the 3 projects. Very important thing to note here is that each one of the projects given here are not necessarily a speech. It could be more than one speech. Current system, we say that one speech is given as one project, but in the pathways, the projects are comprises of minimum one speech. So that means it could be more than one speech in one of the projects, and each level have the mandatory speeches and elective speeches, elective projects. Learning your own style is level 2. Increasing knowledge is level 3. Building your skills is level 4. And demonstrating your expertise is level 5. Each one of the paths have 5 levels. You need to complete 2 paths to become a DTM with other formalities, which we will be talking in the next few slides. In the new educational program, one of the good examples which we'd like to share is Pathway have the mentoring program. In the current system, that we all become the mentor without being trained as mentors. In the future, the Toastmasters International will be training or giving a project called mentor program. Anyone would like to go to be a mentor in the community, in the social service, in the corporate, or in our Toastmastering, there is a project called Mentorship program. This program is already built into the pathways. These are the major changes coming into the educational system we have currently. Another very interesting project we will be building on is Make Connection Through Networking. This comes in level 3 project. Why I'm giving you this example is that this is very interesting. Before even you begin speaking in the club or in front of an audience at the time of level 3, what you need to do is to make your connection through networking. In this project, it shows that you have to socialize yourself in your business circle, social circle, or your friend circle, family circle, and somewhere you need to make your networking, and you write up your own project of your own experience to speak in front of your club members and get the credit for this one. So before you even speak, there is an assignment. This assignment called Make Your Connection Through Networking. So this is more of a practical learning experiences which is coming in the pathways. There are possibilities of getting the printed material because the base camp is an electronic accessibility through your login IDs. And if you choose to have your printed material ordered, the limitations are that you will have only 5 paths available in the non-English speaking materials. And you have only 2 paths available in the in fact, I mean, the 5 paths are available in the English material, and only 2 paths are available in the Arabic, in the non-English speaking material. All the 10 paths are available in the electronic form in the base camp. Interesting, if you choose to get the printed material, that you will no longer be able to access the base camp in electronic form. TMI encourages all of us to learn through the electronic system. That's how they are limiting our accessibility to the printed material in case we choose to print our material, or rather, in fact, I mean, when you have a base camp in electronic form, you can choose your own printing material. But if you do not like to have the accessibility to the electronic format and you choose the printed material, then you have the limitation 5 parts in English and 2 parts only in non-English. After the survey is conducted, the TMI recommends you 2 parts to work on, and in case you do not like to work on those recommended parts and you choose your own path, you may do so within 30 days of the accessibility of your material. Soon after the 30 days, you no longer be able to change your paths unless you pay for it. I will come to the payment path in the near future, in the next few slides. Electronic badges will be given to you. Soon you complete the level 1, 2, 3, 4. If you look at your screen, the courageous speaker, all those badges will be coming in the electronic form. The good thing about those badges that you can share on your social media, Facebook and Twitter, that you have achieved level 1, 2, 3, 4, or the courageous speakers. All the certificates will not be mailed to you anymore. It will be embedded in your base camp, and you can choose to print your own certificates, provided the VP Education or the base camp managers approve your transcripts or the projects. The pricing of the paths. Once you become the member, or the current members who goes through the survey, they will be given 1 free path. All the new members who join after the implementation of the pathways, after going through the survey, they will be given 1 free path along with their membership fee. The second path, you need to purchase it for $20 US. And if you are getting the printed material ordered, you need to pay $25. You can exchange that printed material. You can ship back to the TMI within 30 days in an original form and get other printed material of your choice. But after 30 days, you need to pay for your path $20 or $25 for the printed materials. It doesn't change the club meeting structure. The interesting part is that most of us have curiosity that since we are accessing the material electronically, will we have to still be available at the club? Yes. The club meetings structure have not changed. We will still have those organized club meetings with the R-Counter, grammarian, and wordmaster, and evaluators in present there. Though the evaluators can give evaluation in an electronic form, and it will be embedded in your base camp. If you look at the screen, today what we have, the club meetings has an agenda, meeting roles and speeches, yes. You assign for a speech and receive an evaluation, yes. But in the future, access this store speech evaluation online. As I said earlier, your evaluation are stored online, and you can give the multiple access to the multiple evaluators, and then you can choose to keep which evaluation you would like to keep. Club members support you and give feedback. Yes, feedback is available online through Basecamp. Receive digital badges and certificates through Basecamp. We talked about the certificates and the badges in a digital format where you can share that with your Facebook or on the social medias. Icebreaker is the first speech, yes. Even in the future pathways, it is yes. VP Education, track your progress, yes. In addition to the VP Education, in absence or in addition, there will be a president or the secretary also can track your base camp and show your progress or approve your progress or approve your transcripts and projects. Speech lasts 5 to 7 minutes, yes and yes. Currently, we are learning only 68 competencies, but in the future, it will be over 300 competencies to learn from. Imagine how much it has developed. From 68 competencies currently to the 2-track system, and it will be 10 paths. We have 300 competencies to choose from, to learn from. 1 communication track and 1 leadership track, as we currently have 2, but in the future, it will be 10 different learning paths tailored to your requirement, tailored to your needs, tailored to what you're looking for. For the club officers and the area governors and all those DCP hunters, rather, where we need to still be a distinguished club or the DCP points we need to accumulate. For the next 24 months after the implementation, as I said, the pathways will be implemented in our District 79 at the end of March 2018. The TMI network, the worldwide, will complete the pathways implementation by June 2018. Soon it is implemented all over the world. From 1st of July, you will have 24 months in parallel. The current education system will work and the pathways will work for 24 months. After 24 months, which is June 30, 2020, the current educational program will cease to exist. Only the pathways will work. So during this 24 months, the 2 CC will be equal to 4 levels, and two more CCs will be equal to 2 levels of 2 more levels, so on and so forth. If you go for the DCP points, the club structure will remain the same. Path to the DTM is very interesting and more improvised. The completion of the 2 learning paths is the basic. You need to complete 2 learning paths of 5 levels each. We talked about the levels. Serve as a club officer for 12 months. The club which meets every week has the officer's term for 6 months. They have to work on not the consecutive, but then you have to take the responsibility of an officer twice for 6 months each. You have to serve as a club officer for 12 months, not in a consecutive term. For example, if I am a club officer for 6 months as a president, in the next 1 or 2 years with a gap, I can become a VP education or a sergeant at arms for the next 6 months. Both 6 months put together will be considered as a club officer served for 12 months. This is the minimum requirement to serve as a club officer for 12 months in any given position, from sergeant at arms to the president. It's not necessarily the president or the VP education. Any given club officer's position. Serve as a club mentor or a coach. Serve as a club sponsor or conduct a speechcraft at the youth leadership program. Currently, if you remember, most of us, once you are a sponsor, you still have to conduct a speechcraft or a youth leadership program to become a DTM. In the pathways, it's no longer a requirement. If you conduct a speechcraft or the youth leadership or the club sponsor, if you are a club sponsor, you don't need to take one of those youth leadership or speechcraft. The choices are given. It's more opportunity for more people. Serve as a district officer for 1 year. I'm sure you all are aware who are the district officers. District officers are from area director to the division director and the 8 officers of the district. Some of the pathway guides and ambassadors are also be considered as the district officers when they served to implement the pathways according to the Toastmasters regulations and guidelines, and get the minimum requirement of serving the clubs, visiting the clubs and educating the members for the pathways. And complete the capstone DTM project. This is very interesting. This is something after you learn the 2 learning paths and served as an officer and a sponsor or a coach and conduct all those programs and serve as a district officer. Towards the end of your, or rather just getting the DTM, you need to organize your own project. You have to create your own project from your social life, from your work experience, from your Toastmasters experience, from your anything which you think of. Organize your own project and deliver it in front of the audience in the club, and then become a DTM. More details of capstone project, how to organize yourself, will be given and embedded in your base camp once you get access to the base camp, and after you become a member, or the current members after you take the survey. And TMI recommends you 2 parts to learn from. When are we going to get the rollout in our district? It's in America and Malaysia, it's been already done. The region 2 is done, 6 and 7 is done, region 10 and 12 is done. In February, it's going to be region 3 and 5. We are in region 11. District 79 is part of the region 11, and we are going to get it in March. Towards the end of March, we will begin our Pathways program and the new learning experiences, Toastmasters. And again, I will repeat, the current system and the new pathway system will exist in parallel for 24 months after the implementation of the pathways. And the worldwide implementation are expected the 30 June 2018. So the new year, 1st of July of Toastmasters International, will begin the count for 24 months of the pathway implementation. In the future, the 10 paths will become 12 paths to choose from. And those 2 new paths are the humorously speaking path and the advanced leadership path. There will be an introduction of the 2 additional paths. And there will be adding a new language, and that new language is Tamil from India. Yeah, I'm ready for the questions. I'm sure you have lots of questions. I can take those questions now. Anybody? Toastmaster Yasin, are you there to see anybody typing the question?
Yes, Toastmaster Wahid, thank you so much for your for the presentation and for enlightening us about the Pathways program. Yes, the floor is open, and I already see some hands raised. Inshallah, I will give the mic to the gentleman over here and to the Toastmasters. And just 1 minute, let me start with. Okay. Okay, so we have Toastmaster Hassan Maghazin.
Yeah.
Yes, Toastmaster Hassan, you can go ahead. Just 1 minute.
Can't hear.
Yeah, I think it's Toastmaster Hassan, you're unmuted. Can you go ahead, please? Toastmaster Hassan, we still cannot hear you. Okay, I will. Hello. I will move ahead. I will think, Tusman Hassan Maghazir, can you hear us? You're unmuted. You can go ahead, please.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am very glad to be here today. I have two questions. First question, during the proceeding with the 5 levels for each path, you mentioned about the mentorship program. If that will be included, this is the 5 levels, or it will be separate? And if we proceed with this as it's included the 5 levels, can we be a mentor, or we have to wait until we run with this mentorship program? This is my first question. My second question,
Yeah.
you said in March 1st will be launched the pathways.
Yeah.
But there is some assessment before the policy with selecting the paths. Is it will be after March, or will be before March, the assessment? This is the second question.
Sure. Let me take the second question first. The implementation will take towards the end of March, and the soon they open up the accessibility to the pathways, they will also start taking the survey. So once the survey is done, you will be recommended by the TMI for 2 paths, and then you can start working on. There will be say few days transition time between the question and survey and the implementation. It's going to be very quick. You don't need to wait for that long. And as far as the first question is concerned, the mentorship is part of the levels you need to work on, and you don't have to be a qualified mentor currently to be a mentor of your Toastmasters members. It's an additional tool, an additional educational project where you can choose to work on the mentorship level, and then you become a competent mentor. It's not necessarily that this is a basic requirement to be a mentor for your fellow members. However, we will have more details once the program is implemented. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Hassan.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hassan. I will move ahead to our next. We have Mufaham Ali. Mufaham Ali, you are unmuted. Please go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum, all of you, and especially Mr. Wahid Lucky. This is from SKM Club, and I have one simple question. Where can we find a mentor, and are there volunteers who can come to us, or how do we go to them? How can we find them?
Sure, it's a very valid and very good question. You can contact, if you are one of the club officers or the president of the club, you can contact your area governor or area director or division director. They will be able to help you to assign the mentors.
Fine. So when they assign, will that be official assignment? Is it documented?
No, it's a voluntary assignment, and the Toastmasters are ever ready to help each other. And we have so many mentors around. You can choose any of the mentor. You can even approach personally to any Toastmasters. They will be more than happy and more than glad to mentor you or to give you the mentorship. But
Thank you.
In the pathways, the mentorship project is there.
Mm-hmm.
And in that mentorship project, they have to be a mentor of some mentees to learn through experience of the mentorship and develop the project or deliver the speeches of the mentorship.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mufaham. We have Wahid, 2 questions which came in the chat. by Vijay Radraj. So his first question is, what about the conventional ribbons? I think
Can-
it's the award for the ribbons that we are awarded by Toastmaster.
Conventional what?
Conventional ribbons. And also the next question is, will we be still having the Triple Crown Award? If so, if yes, then what will be the basis and pathways?
The more details to follow after the implementation. There will be so many recognition at every level, more frequently, and more awards will be given. All those, the membership awards, the mentorship awards, the badges, all will be enhanced and more in detail. It's upcoming. And the conventional style of learning and Toastmasters, which is the club atmosphere, that will still be there in full form.
Thank you, Toastmaster. The next question is by Mohammed Saifullah. Now, I request all the members to be a bit patient. We are trying to accommodate all the questions, inshallah. And if you have any questions, you can raise your hand or send it in the chat, and we will try to accommodate all of them. The next question is by Mohammed Saifullah. You are unmuted now, Mr. Saifullah.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Yeah, DTM Wahid Latif, the Chief Ambassador, and the people assisting. I was from the beginning and I enjoyed your presentation. And for your information, I am one of the pathway guides, newly appointed. So my question, I have few questions, but it will be mainly on the, in connection with the pathway guides activities. Okay. Also one related to the education. For example, it is said that there will be minimum 14 educational projects and 15 project speeches. So where shall we get the detail? Where can we have these 14? What are those 14 or more educational projects, and what are those 15 speeches?
No. The more details will be given to you to access once the program is implemented.
Okay, and, fine. After
the rollout, I mean, come through in electronic form. You need to browse through, and there will be a lot of tutorials available online for all the members. Once you log into the Basecamp, lots of tutorials will be available. So you can go through those tutorials and learn how to navigate, how to access your evaluation, how to access your Basecamp, and how to interact with your evaluators. Everything will be given in the tools column and the tutorials.
Okay. And I have another question. I will be partnering with the ambassador, right?
Your voice is breaking.
As the pathway guide, I will be partnering with the ambassador.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when this ambassador will be assigned, and also,
which part of you are in? I mean, if you are in Riyadh, it's been already done. If we are having a meeting in Al Khobar on Sunday at 7 p.m. and then the Al Khobar guides and ambassadors will be pulled together.
I'm from Al Khobar. I am from Nasman Partners and Harmony Toastmasters. So I will attend that meeting. So I'll be able to know in that particular meeting that what are the clubs assigned to me and who is the ambassador to assist me, right?
Sunday you would know about it. Please attend the meeting on Sunday.
Oh, okay. And yesterday I made ready few points, but I didn't have the chance to raise a question because they only accepted limited number of questions because of the time constraint. And it was mentioned that there will be joint meetings. We can conduct joint meetings as a pathway guide. So that joint meeting will be considered, for example, if 3 clubs are participating, it will be considered as 3 meetings, right?
Yeah, we will talk more in details when we meet on Sunday.
Sunday. Okay. Okay.
No. The credit you're talking about to the ambassadors and the pathway guides, I will give you more details about it.
Okay, sir. No problem. So thank you very much for your input. I enjoyed the
Thank
session.
you, Toastmaster Saifullah.
And see you on Sunday then.
Sure.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster said. I think there is another question by Toastmaster Salim Al Madani. Toastmaster Salim, please go ahead.
Yes, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm start published idea about the pathways in the clubs. There's two main questions they ask me every time. First question related to distinguished club. How it will be in the dashboard when the members of that club work on both both in the old system and with the pathways system. This is first question. Second question, if you allowed me, about who's in the old system, for example, an for project and communicator, how he can put that through the pathways, the new level. I mean, for example, strategy leader.
Yeah, it's very good question, and it's commonly been asked by every member in our district and in fact worldwide. The system, or rather the new education system of pathways, is completely new, revitalized program. The existing system of the projects you have CC. In fact, when you talked about 4 projects completion, you can't take those 4 projects completion equivalent to the next in pathways. You need to begin anew in pathways from the zero. In fact, imagine if you are an advanced communicator silver, you have a chance to complete that advanced communicator system to convert into DTM in 24 months. But if you choose not to, you cannot take the equivalency into the level in the pathways. You need to begin from zero because it's a new educational program. It's a new learning experience. But your advanced communication silver always be recognized as an advanced communicator Toastmaster. You will still carry that badge, and you are an advanced member. You're an advanced communicator. Nothing can change. But then you don't have an equivalency to the new learning system. You have to begin your journey from level 1 and from the 2 paths. You can become a new DTM. For example, of all those DTMs, old DTMs become the new DTMs of the pathways. They have to start from the zero. There is nothing called equivalency.
I see.
And as far as the education goals you talked about, if you look at your screen, for the 24 months in parallel, the 2CC will give you a 1 point, and in the new educational program, if people have converted 4 levels, they will be considered as 1 point. Then 2 more CCs will be considered as 1 more point, and 2 levels of 2s will be considered as 1 point. So there is a balance there in working in parallel.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much, Mr. Salim. If you have any questions, you can either raise your hand or type them in the question box, and we'll get to you, inshallah.
Any of the club officer available in the audience, I would request them to give a slot to the ambassadors and pathway guides to present the pathways in detail to the club members. Please give a slot from 30 minutes to 1 hour. What I give is a short presentation, and I'm trying to take more questions. The details will be given by our pathway guides live in front of your audience and at your club. Please provide slots if any of the club officers are listening to me. Thank you. Ready for question.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Wahid. Indeed, it's really interesting to know a lot about the pathways system, and it's something new and interesting for all of us. And yes, it's always a good opportunity to learn more about it. So if there is any officers, division directors, area directors, I would encourage everyone to reach out to your pathways guides and ambassadors in your area and make sure that all the clubs under your club itself, all the members under the club, and all the clubs under the area, and all the areas under the division are aware of the pathways, because it's really an interesting methodology and an interesting process of learning. We have another question by Vijay Viradhaj about DCP. During the first 24 months, if we have members completing conventional CC or CL, and also members completing levels in pathways, how the DCP will be scored? Can you shed some light on this one?
It's on the screen. Equivalent. For example, again, if you have 2 CCs or 4 levels, is 1 point. If you have 2 more CCs of the
so this one will be for the first 24 months, and after the 24 months, only the segments on the right-hand side that is accounted for.
Absolutely. The left will cease to exit after 24 months. I hope it's okay.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Wahid. There's another by Ahmed Al-Musai. So I'm giving the mic to Ahmed Al-Musai. Mr. Ahmed Al-Musai, you can go ahead. You're unmuted.
It's not there.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's... Okay, there is Majid Al-Shangiti, so I will give the mic to Majid Al-Shangiti.
Assalamu alaikum. Do you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Thank you so much. Very informative and promising. I have one question for a newly chartered club in our in Arar for the Saudi Polytechnic Mining Institute. Shall I advise them to proceed on their education system, or they slow down to catch with the pathways?
I would personally recommend them to go ahead and on the journey of completing the CCs, because they will still be having 24 months to learn. I always give this example to my friends, like if a new education system is coming, rather a new book you have purchased, it's a new experience of reading and learning from that experience. But the current book which you're having in your hand, and if you keep on reading, it's your experience you're building on. It's always be with you. So it is not the recognition as such, but the recognition itself that you have achieved completing CC or the 4 projects and 5 projects. It's building onto your experience, building onto your learning opportunity. So don't wait for the new implementation to come. Work on it now, and then once the new program is implemented, you can start a journey anew again.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure, sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster Majid. There is another question by Rashid. I think this is for the DTM Distinguished Club. If I complete and reach level 5 Distinguished Club program, I will be supposed to be a mentor, or what's exactly? I think this question is regarding mentorship. Is it going to be after they complete level 5, or is it like he wants to know more about mentorship? Can you explain a bit for this?
You know, you don't need to be waiting until you complete your levels to be the mentor or the sponsor of the club or to conduct the speech from. Or it works in parallel. For example, if you are working on level 1 and on a particular path, and you're already a club mentor, that you're mentoring the clubs, it's fine with us, or rather with the GMI. So there is no time frame, there is no time bound. It is self-paced program. You can begin your journey and then you can choose to be the mentor of or the coach of the club, provided you are qualified and having experience, or the the area director and the division director appoints you as. I hope it's clear.
Thank you very much. There is another question by Toastmaster Vijay. Basically he wants to inquire about the pathway ambassadors. So if you can name a few of them, it will be really good.
There are several of them. I wonder which division he belongs to or which city he's belonged to.
Toastmaster Vijay, if you can share more details. Division O, Area 9, it says. So do we have someone handling that?
Toastmaster Jolly, Toastmaster Shakil, Toastmaster Saifullah, and Toastmaster Sadia Siddiqui, so Toastmaster, many of them. I can't remember off the top of my head. But get in touch with your area director, get in touch with your division director, get in touch with the club president. They will be able to send a mail to the PQD or to the district director. They will be able to send you this information, or send it to the chief ambassador, your question, or an email sharing the list of ambassadors available around you. We will be more than happy to share.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Also, one question, a request, if you can just show on the screen your email ID, so people over here, if they have any queries, they can reach out to you using the email ID, if that's possible.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I think you can use a notepad.
Is swlatif@gmail.com. swlatif@gmail.com. S as in sugar, W as in Wahid, Latif, Lateef, Latif at gmail.com.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Wahid. If anyone has any queries, they can always reach out to our Chief Ambassador for District 79 for the Pathways program, and he will be more than happy to assist you in your queries and clarify all the doubts. With this, we come to the end of our session for today. Toastmaster Wahid, do you have any last comments? I don't see any questions or hands raised, so I think most of them are clarified, and if there is any questions, you can still raise your hand. We'll accommodate.
I'd like to thank all of you for having patience with us, and please wait until the new program has been implemented. Talk about it, ask questions, talk to your fellow members, and encourage them to ask questions, encourage them to take the survey, and choose to learn from the Pathways learning experience. There's more opportunities to learn, more competencies to learn, and it's a fantastic educational program for our own development. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much, our Chief Ambassador for District 79, Toastmaster Syed Wahid Latif. Thank you very much to all the attendees for being with us. throughout the webinar, and I'm quite sure you will have experienced quite good amount of knowledge shared over here. And please feel free to reach out to our Chief Ambassador if you have any queries and questions. I'm sure he will be more than happy to help you out. In the meantime, you can also reach out to your area directors, division directors, and even our district director, TTM James, if you have any queries, and he will, inshallah, put you in contact with our chief advisor, our chief ambassador, inshallah. With this, we come to the conclusion of today's webinar, and we will be looking forward to meeting more of the District 79 members at our next segment. And thank you so much. With that,
thank you, Yasin, for a very nice.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Syed Wahid.
Right.
Good night and have a successful Toastmaster journey, everyone.
Thank you.